Good morning, Rechavia Nachlaot, right here in Yerushalayim. Good morning, Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m. It is a great zechut to be able to learn with you every morning, especially now that we've begun a new Maamar from the Rebbe Rashab. The Rebbe Rashab was the fifth Chabad Rebbe. This Maamar was said over 100 years ago in the year 1897. Taf Reish Nun Zayin. Over the past couple of days, we've been starting to look into the verse VeYadaata Hayom, and then it says, Ki Hashem hu ha'elokim, for Hashem is our God. And so the question that we asked was, what does it mean that what the Zohar says based on the verse, on this verse? Havaya hu ve'elokim kul echad. The name of Hashem, which is Yud and a Hey and a Vav and a Hey, and Elokim is all one. What does it mean that it's all one? The question is strengthened by the fact that we started to look into what is the name Havaya. What is name Elokim? Name Havaya represents Gilui, revelation. What does Shem Elokim, the name of Hashem, which is Elokim, what does that represent? Tzimtzum, Helim, Hester, condensing of the light and concealment. So what does it mean that it's kul echad? So we started to learn that the name of Havaya represents revelation, and revelation is light. Naturally, light is similar to the luminary, because the light is an offshoot, is an expression, is a revelation of the luminary. The luminary is the source. The luminary is the etzem. And then the light comes from that. So if the light comes from the luminary, it must have similar characteristics of the luminary. So just like the luminary is just light, giving off light, so too, the light which comes out from that is also Gilui, revelation, unlimited, just giving and giving. Now let's continue in the text. Omnam, however, Shem Elokim, the name of Elokim, hu makor hakelim. The name of Elokim, like it says in the Kabbalah, is the source of the vessels. Shebahem mit tzamtzem umit alem haor. Within a vessel, that's where the light becomes condensed and becomes sort of concealed. Umagbilim et haor, and limit the light, sheba b'bchinat hitchalkut chachma v'chesed, that the light can come in different forms, chachma, bina, dat, chesed, and so on and so forth, throughout all the entire 10 sfirot. So when you have the 10 sfirot, each one represents another level. Chachma, for example, is made up of two parts. You have the light, which is the wisdom, the light of Hashem, the wisdom of Hashem, and the kli, the vessel of Chachma. The light is usually neutral, colorless. You can't even call it Chachma. It's just the essence of Hashem. But when it comes through the keli, the vessel of Chachma, then we say that it takes on at least a certain type of a form, a certain type of explanation, a certain form. The whole idea that you can have a certain, that you can put a certain label, a certain color, a certain label, a nickname for the light, that's only because of the keli. The hagam, the kelim, the eser sfirot, harehem megalim ta'or hamelubash betocham. How can you tell me that a keli is there to limit when it's through the keli that the light becomes revealed? Ukmo hamoach sheberosh, just like the brain. The brain the physical brain in the mind is a keli, is a vessel, which contains within it the light of the sechel, the light of the intellect. So if there's no brain to contain the wisdom, to contain the intellect that the person has, then the person's not going to be able to think, because there is no specific vessel to control it, to contain it. Or another example is the eye. V'chein ha'ayin, the eye, megaleh et or har'iyah haruchaniyut. The light, the ability to see, is the koach har'iyah, is the blessing of Hashem that we should be able to see. But the eyeball is the keli, is the vessel, through which the power to see becomes enclosed. And through that, then the person is able to see. Through and thanks to the eyeball. So if the power to see, instead of going into the eyeball, would, God forbid, go to the ear would never be able to see. Because the ear is not a tailored vessel to be able to reveal this sensitive, refined koach ability to see. Only the eyeball is the proper keli, is the proper vessel through which a person can see. Just like it is down here by a human being, the same thing is above, by Hashem. Chachma mocha. Chachma is the idea of the brains. Chesed roya yemina. The chesed is quote unquote the right arm. Shehem megalim taorot. They are vessels which reveal the light which is within them. The zehu kol inyan kelim. That's the whole idea of the keli, of the vessel. Shemegalim taor. They reveal the light. The ha'or po'el al yadam, and the light works through them. Kiyadua, as it's known. Ukanal b'nefesh, like we said before, in a person's soul. So how can you tell me that the keli is there to limit, to condense? The whole idea of the keli is that there should be more revelation. If not for the keli, there can never be any revelation. It's thanks to the keli, thanks to the vessel, thanks to the container that contains the light, that whatever is the light inside the vessel should be able to be received by others. So it's almost like the Rebbe Rashab is asking, let's make up our minds. Either the keli is there to contain and condense, or it's there to bring revelation. So now he answers, they're both true. That's the best answer, best Jewish answer. What do you mean, this or that? So we say they're both true. It's like two people came to the rabbi, and one person said, he owes me $100. The other guy said, he doesn't owe me $100. I don't owe him $100. The first guy, the rabbi said, you're right. The second guy, the rabbi said, you're right. Comes the Rebbetzin running in, but my dear husband, how could they both be right? So he said to her, you're also right. That's a classical Jewish response. You're all right. We'll find a way how to figure out how everyone fits into the picture. So hine shnehem emet. So they're both true. Shehem megalim ta'or, that the keli, the vessel reveals the light. The gam ma'alim u'mastirim ala'or, and they also hide and conceal over the light. Wow, only the Rebbe Rashab could say something like that. Both revealing and concealing. Okay, how does that work? Now he explains. The masha megalim ta'or, this characteristic that the keli has to reveal the light, that is what kind of revelation? It's a lower level revelation. It's a revelation that those that are beneath the keli, that those that are trying to receive the light of Hashem, should be able to receive. That's according to the realm of the quote-unquote worlds, the quote-unquote the realm of the creations. Hashem is the creator. He wants us to be able to receive blessing. So he has to condense the great light. So which light does the keli reveal? It reveals a lower level of light. It's almost as if you have a sifter and you have you need to have a very, very fine flour or sand or whatever it is. And you put different types of pieces, different types of different sizes. You have larger, medium, small, tiny. And when you put it through the sifter, only the fine flour comes through. So only the smaller pieces come through. That's because it came through this specific keli, this vessel, which is called a sifter. So only the smaller lights can come through. Now, when you have Hashem wants to give us tremendous lights, tremendous levels of revelation, only when we're able to receive a smaller level of light, then we can receive it. But if the pieces would be too large, or if the light would be too intense, then we wouldn't be able to receive the light. And Hashem wants us to have more and more light in the world. That's why we're doing mitzvahs and learning Torah, in order that there should be more and more light in the world, and it shouldn't be such a coarse world. And God forbid, it should not be removed from godliness, but rather godliness should be vivid and clear and revealed through everything that we do. And so, when we say that the keli reveals the light, it doesn't reveal it the way it is, the way the light is before it came into the keli, before it came into the vessel. Rather, it's a lower level of diluted light, so to speak. The hakelim, the eser sfirot atzilut, me'irim galim or ba'olam atzilut. So what's the point of having a keli, of having a vessel in the world of Atzilus? Because the Atzilus is the first quote-unquote world. It's the most spiritual, but it's the highest. It's still called a world. So if you want there to be light in the world of Atzilut, you need to have a keli, a vessel that can bring the light into Atzilut. Oh, you want to bring the light also into Bria, the next world? No problem. We'll have another set of 10 sfirot, which have light, a lower level of light than the light of Atzilut. And then we'll have a lower level of kelim. And then when it comes through the kelim, it sifts through the light, and it becomes more condensed, that the creations of the world of Bria should be able to receive it and not sizzle away from the intensity of the light. Val yedei haparsa hamafseket bein atzilut lebria harei megalim et haor b'olam habria u'mabria liyitzira. Now the Rebbe Rashab alludes to another type of tzimtzum, of condensing. There's one type of tzimtzum which condenses it lower and lower. Then there's another level of tzimtzum, which is a parsa, which is just one strong wall, like a firewall, which doesn't allow almost anything to go through. A really strong filter. So the firewall, two types of filters. The firewall is almost like a wall that nothing can get through. And then you have another level of filter where different pieces, as long as it fits through the tiny holes, they can get through. So between each world, you have a parsa. Between Atzilut and Bria, that's a very strong tzimtzum. In addition to that, there's a second level of condensing, which is like a filter, which are the 10 kelim, the 10 vessels of the sfirot. And when the light of the sfirot come through, then it sifts more, that it should be even an additional type of tzimtzum. So obviously, the ein zeh b'chinat gilui ha'or k'mo shehu. And that's for sure not the level of revelation of light the way it is. Shaharei nidbar le'el, because it's been explained earlier, the ha'or hu me'ein amor. that the light is similar to the luminary. Pashut, it's simple. But tachlit ubli gvul, it's totally simple. There's no limit. So light, by definition, is revelation, is giving. So in each level, you have the highest idea, the highest level of light. And in order for it to be able to be received in the next world, there has to be even another tzimtzum to condense the light even more, that the creations of that specific world should be able to receive the light of Hashem. If you call it a world, if you say that we're a world, and if you say that we're a creation of Hashem, obviously we are limited. The gam olam atzilut, hainu achelot atzilut, even as atzilut, as high as you want to go, it's still hareim bechinat yeshu gvul. On some level, there are still limitations. As it says in the Tanya, if you want to tell me that the world of Atzilut is all about limitation, then for sure the next worlds, for sure they are the level of Gvul. Limitation and unlimited are two different ideas from one extreme to the other. As the famous expression is, that number one, that the number 1 billion or 1 trillion to infinity is larger than from 1 to 1 trillion. Because 1 to 1 trillion is a large number, is a large gap. But they still are a number. They still can be identified as a certain limit, a certain level. But 1 trillion to infinity is much further, because infinity means limitless. There is no limit. That's or. Or means blikvul, just giving and showering of more and more blessings. That's or. All about giving. As opposed to keli, a vessel, in each world, in each realm, on their own level, gvul means, the world means gvul, limitation. And once you're talking about limitation, it's a whole other ballgame. The imkain, let's just finish off these couple of lines. The imkain muban, if so, it's understood. The mash, the hakelim, megalima or ba'alamot, that the kelim, that the vessels reveal light in the world, ein ze bechinat etzem or, it's not the essence of light. Kim bechinat ha'ara chitzonit milvad meno. It's only an external revelation from it. But the essence of the light is really concealed. Or through the fact that they conceal for the etzem on the essence of the light. So what is the revelation? It's at chitzoniyatar, only the external part of the light. In order that to be able to, that the world should be able to survive and receive their own measure of revelation of godliness. So today we've learned at more detail the concept of the keli. What exactly is the function of the vessels? The function of the kelim in every world, in every realm, is to condense the light in order there should be a lower level of revelation. Is there revelation? Sure. Just a different level of revelation of the light than before the light came into the world of Atzilut, of each world, of each keli. Thank you very much for joining us. And Bezrat Hashem, we'll see you here tomorrow. And then Friday morning, we have Kabbalah Cafe special for Parashat Noach. Thank you very much. All the best.